Hey, what's up, guys? So, review on the game against Los Pumas Argentina away in Argentina. So, yeah, man, kind of a weird game because we dominated. Yeah, we dominated, I think, throughout the whole game, but only in the second half we were actually able to, um, dominate and actually get points. I think there was a combination of things that let us down, so I'm going to be going into it now. So, thank you for joining in. Please do subscribe. I've only got one, only one, man. Subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I'll be giving you more. So, the game started off with South Africa playing a pretty fast-paced game. I think a lot of people have been excited about the new game plan that we do have, and it was pretty good, in the first half, but it just didn't tick. And I think it was based on two reasons. The first reason was that Manile was actually off the ball, especially with the kicking. In general play, he was okay, but with the kicking for the post, he was off the ball. And that's actually put, South Africa under pressure, because if you're missing the kicks, instead of putting the other team under pressure, all right, now you're starting to think, oh, now the only way we can score points is through, tries, instead of being able to convert your penalties. So, and also if you miss, possession is turned over to the other team. So I think that also slipped through, the rest of the team, because now they're playing well, they attacking well, but now they're looking for the tries because we can't get points the other way, which is through penalties. So it was really tough. I think I recall we had like 57 or 59% of the ball in the first half, as well as good territory on that, and we went into the half time with 10-3 down. All right, so that was not really good. In the first half, the scrums were good, all right. General play was good, even though we were not penetrating enough. It was pretty decent, especially playing away, and especially with the game, which was the last game in Ellis Park for the season, which was that was bad, that was bad. So going into the second half, I think what they spoke about in the shed during halftime really made a difference, because within the first 7 minutes or so, we scored 2 tries, quick 2 tries, and we led from there, and we never looked back. And at the end of the day, I think Argentina only got 3 points, in the second half, so we actually even dominated even more, that they couldn't get any points. I mean, they got 7 points, from the quick tap try where people just switched off for a little while in the first half, but in the second half the guys were switched on. So the outstanding players, that actually made it tick was, of course, the scrum and the lineouts were quite good. By the way, the captaincy from Mongi, wow, that was exceptional. He was able to communicate with the referee, didn't irritate the referees, was able to keep the guys motivated, calm, and be able to execute. He really led well from the front. I was pleasantly surprised. It felt like Sia was on the pitch, how calm the guys were and how calm they were when they tried to execute what they tried to execute. So I was really impressed, and that actually even gives me more certainty that Joseph Dewar was not going. All right, Joseph Dewar was not going to the World Cup, because even when Bongi went out, Dion Ferry took over as captaincy. Now you can't really give captaincy to Dion Ferry and leave him out of the World Cup squad. All right, I really think he's gonna be the one that actually steps up, especially for the lesser games in the World Cup. I think he's the one that they're gonna have there, because he also led well. He was communicating with the referee again, asking the right questions, talking to the guys, making sure they're calm, making sure that he understands what the referee wants, and on the good side of the referee. the outstanding players for me were Kenan Moody, of course. Jeez, really, dude, Kenan Moody was on fire. And that gives us, a predicament because Mapimpi also played well. Mapimpi also played well. So, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna take the four wings? That's another thing. That's a selection poser that they need to think about. But Kenan Moody played well. Mapimpi played well. My boy Libok, he sort of, grew into the game, especially in the second half. He ran it well, in terms of the attacking and all of that stuff. The first, the scrum off, he was fast. But Kovas, he was fast, but I'm not sure, for that type of game that he's good for that game, and he was chosen for the last World Cup for that game, for the quick game. But is he at the moment better than Williams? I know Williams got concussed. He was out for 2 weeks, and I think he's gonna be back for the Welsh game. And I think he's gonna be going. He's gonna go to the World Cup. I think the shootout is gonna be between Kobus Reynagh and Jaden Hendrikse. They invested a lot in him, for the past 2 years, but he hasn't been getting game time, because he was injured and he had a family issue as well. So, is he gonna get penalized for that, or are they gonna say, what, we invested in this guy for the last 2 years. He's been playing brilliantly when he's been available. He was a starting scrum half for majority of last season, ahead of Faf, so, but Faf is probably going to be going. So I think the shootout is going to be between Jaden Hendrikse and Kobus Reynagh. All right. The first center, Esterhuizen, he had a decent game. All right, didn't really stand out. Didn't see what he did against Australia in the first game, but he had a decent game. He didn't let the team down. Was sort of like off ball. He's sort of like a Franco Mester. He's going through the same thing as Franco, where you just want them to get back to what we know them for. And I'm not sure how long it's gonna take, for those guys. Even though I know Franco is gonna go, and I know as well that Am is gonna go. How long are they gonna be able to pull through within this next, warm-up games? And the difficult thing for Mostert is that he's not gonna be the starting, lock or a starting flanker, in these next two games, because I think within the next two games they're gonna be playing the first team, the team that they want, to go into the World Cup with. And both and Franco, I don't see Franco there. At least Am's gonna get an opportunity to play himself into form, and get back on the form that we know him for. Willemse at the back was brilliant. I know a lot of people are concerned that we only have one fullback, in terms of Willie, but I think Willemse, gave some comfort in that area because he really played well, so we know that we've got a decent to good, fullback replacement. All right. Another position that I thought was kind of interesting, Marvin Ori. First half was phenomenal for me. First half was phenomenal. I know he's not a cup of tea. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but first half was phenomenal. And it's a sad thing that I don't think he's going to make it in terms of going through, because you've got Mostert and you've got Peter Steff, who can play lock as well as flank, and he only plays lock, which is a similar situation that you have with Esterhuizen. He only plays one position, when you have Willemse, who can also play there, first center, and as well as Am can actually shift inside as well. By the way, when Jesse Krill came on, that's what you want. Am went off with an injury. I hope it's not that bad, but Jesse Krill came in and he didn't look out of place, man. I think he's one of those guys that you can put down as Mr. Dependable. He's guaranteed to go. I think they love him that side. In terms of the replacement, I was really impressed with Jean-Luc Dupre. Man. I wish we had more time, to see the guy play. It's so sad that only got to see him in the last game, but he played fucking well. Evan Roos as well, he played well, and what I liked about him is that he wasn't only playing in the wide channels, he was actually playing that typical Springbok eighth man, like Dwayne, being in the trenches. He played well. Janchis, he's not gonna go to the World Cup. I mean, I think there's 4 scrum offs ahead of him, and not even all 4 are gonna go. So he played decently when he came on, but I'm not sure he's gonna make it. I don't think he's gonna make it. So that's a little bit tough luck for him, So, but all in all, it was I think it was a combination of the attack game plan that we've seen from the Springboks, as well as going back to the tried and trusted defense. Because the defense, I remember there was a passage of play where we're defending between the 10 minutes and the 22, and we actually drove them back through defense, the tackling them back to the halfway, and we turned over the ball after that. I think it was a knockout or something like that. So the defense was on point, all right? So I think the combination of those two things, if I was a Springbok coach, I would say, in terms of the new game plan, incorporating it with the old game plan, I would say there were about 75% to 80% there in terms of what they wanted. It's just the first half weren't that clinical, but in the second half you could see that we're clinical. The guys came through. So I'm gonna probably drop this video, and the next thing that we need to discuss is when they announce the team, which is going to be on Tuesday. I've given sort of like heads up in terms of the contagious areas, which is scrum off, which scrum offs are going to go, in terms of the hooker, where I think Bongi is not going to go, where I think as well is going to be contagious is going to be on the wings. Are they going to go with 4 wings? Because I know that other 3 wings besides Mapipi. So you've got Kenan Moody, all right. You've got the 2 short guys. Sorry, I forgot their names. But yeah, you've got those 2 guys. They all can play fullback, all right. While Mapipi only plays 1 wing. But we know, Jacques Ninaba and Rassi, they love Mapipi. They've got a soft spot for Mapipi. I think he brings, something different to the group. Even maybe not, if we take away the playing, but the culture of the group. That he brings the diversity, to the extreme, because he's a rural boy and stuff like that. And I think we need that, for the team, to stay grounded and stay together. And he was there in 19, and if he does play, he's not gonna let the team down. So I think he's gonna go, But yeah, man, it's interesting. All right. So I'll probably drop a video when the team is announced tomorrow. I'm doing this video on Monday, and give you my thoughts on that. So stay tuned, and please do subscribe. Thanks. Cheers.